This video has been developed to provide guidance on completing a compliance task within BeSafe. Compliance tasks are critical to maintaining the safety of our estates for our residents, and therefore it's recommended that compliance tasks are viewed regularly to ensure these important tasks do not become overdue. Some compliance tasks are for recording information following physical checks on the estate and are required to be completed at set intervals. Other tasks are either ad hoc or dependent on the range of assets present at your estate. Once you are logged on to BeSafe to complete a compliance task, you'll first need to search for your estate. There are two ways to search for an estate. The first involves clicking in the estate search bar at the top right-hand corner of the screen and typing in your 4-digit estate code. Then click on the magnifying glass to begin the search. The second way to search is by clicking on the estate group. This will show you a drop-down of your estates. As an estate manager, you'll be able to see the estate codes within your area. As an area manager, you will see all the estate codes within your region. The details of your estate will then be displayed in the main BeSafe screen. You will see 7 tabs across the top of the screen. To complete a compliance task, select the Compliance tab. The screen will then change to show the compliance screen. In this screen will be displayed all the compliance tasks relevant to your estate. Some tasks are scheduled for different periods of time, such as weekly, monthly or 6-monthly. This will be indicated by the Compliant Until field. Each task is assigned a red, amber or green status. These colour-coded statuses are designed to indicate when a compliance task is completed, due or overdue. If the task is green, this indicates it has been completed and is compliant until the next due date. Amber indicates the task is due to be actioned soon. You'll also receive a notification email from C365 alerting you the compliance task is due. The timeframes for a task turning amber prior to the due date will vary, depending on the regularity of the task. Red means that the task is now overdue and needs to be completed as soon as possible to maintain compliance. To complete a compliance task, you will need to find the relevant task from the list. Please note that there may be more than one page. You will see the number of pages at the bottom of the screen. For the purpose of this user video, we are going to complete the weekly fire alarm compliance task. Before you complete the task, you will have already tested the fire alarm point at your estate. If required, make a note of any actions that are unexpected so that you can record these on BeSafe. To carry out the task, click on the Do Task button adjacent to the weekly fire alarm task type. The weekly fire alarm task screen will then be displayed. The date of the task completion will automatically default to today's date. If you find that you need to change the date, then you can click on the date box, which will enable you to select a date that is up to 3 days before today's date. Enter the number of the call point used to activate the fire alarm for this test in the field provided. You will now need to answer the 4 questions relating to the task, depending on what happened when you undertook the weekly fire alarm test. If the weekly fire alarm test was successful, answer all on-screen questions with a yes, and then click OK to save. If your weekly fire alarm test was unsuccessful, you will need to click No to one or more of the questions to indicate this. This will enable you to raise an action. In the following example, a fire door did not close correctly when completing the test. Firstly, you would need to record that the fire door did not close correctly by selecting No to the appropriate question. Selecting No will prompt you to advise whether the action has been raised in a previous inspection. Select Yes or No. If yes, you'll be asked to enter the previous action number relating to the issue. You may want to have made a note of this prior to completing the task on BeSafe. If no, you will need to raise a new action. To raise an action, select the risk rating from those provided by clicking the relevant risk rating button. In the blue box will be a description of each risk level, including associated timeframes. In the description field, enter a description of what you observed when undertaking the fire alarm test. Assign the action to the relevant person who would be responsible for resolving the issue identified. To do this, enter their email address in the Action Assigned To box. The responsible person for the action will be notified and reminded by email that the action is due. When it becomes overdue by 7 days, it will be escalated to their line manager. If no is answered to any other question, you will need to follow the same process. You will then have two options at the bottom of the screen. The first enables you to save the form part completed so that you can return to it at a later date to complete it. If you have fully completed the form, you can click OK, which will save the compliance task and assign any actions to the identified people. This will then close the task and set the next due date. You may need to click Refresh to see the updates. You've now successfully completed the weekly fire alarm test compliance task.